the night before he went to the cross for us, and he took the bread, he took the cup, the symbols, and I think it's cool that like God took a moment that we kind of have to participate in every single day, eating. I don't know that y'all love eating. He says, whenever you gather together, I want you to do this. The whole picture is this: Jesus was the Word became flesh. And his desire for us is that the Word would become flesh in us. And I believe that happens through process, through the course of. That's why I think he uses food as the thing, because we become what we eat, kind of. But more than that, we're consuming his body, what that represents, his blood that was poured out for us. And I think that when we get together and we worship, when we turn up at church every single week, when we do all this stuff, it's process. It's like us becoming who God's called us to be, slowly but surely, slowly but surely, slowly but surely. And it gets easier over time. It gets easier to be compassionate, to be empathetic. It gets easier. I don't know about you, but sometimes I see something like Syria, the refugee crisis, and my heart breaks. And I don't know why I don't feel more compassionate. It's not that I don't feel compassionate. It's just that I'm like, man, if I really lived like Jesus, I'd be doing more. I don't know if there's anyone else who feels like that sometimes, but I feel like the process of following Jesus, it gets easier. That stuff just becomes easier. It becomes more natural. And the process of doing it, actually taking the step and going, you know what, I've heard a bunch of calls to sponsor children or to do this or to, but every time we do it, it's like the Word becomes a bit more flesh in us. So I want to encourage you, maybe you you were moved by that, but let's do something to be the hands and feet of Jesus, practically. So we're going to take this cup. Empires, the whole thing is about this moment right after that, when John 17, it says that Jesus went alone to pray. I'm almost done. I talk for a long time, especially when I'm tired. But Jesus, he went alone and he prayed to his Father on behalf of us. Right before he was arrested and went to the cross, and talks about the weight he felt in that Garden of Gethsemane, the anguish, the pressure, all of our burdens, everything. He prayed to his Father, and he prayed that we wouldn't be separate from the world, but that we would be in the world, but not of it. That we wouldn't remove ourselves from it, but that we would understand that we're not made for it. And I think that's everything to us as the church. Fear, it'll cause us to create a little bubble of safety for us to live our good Christian lives in. Love, it's about tearing down those walls, living passionate, voracious, audacious lives. To step out and do things that don't make sense to the world, that don't make sense to the religious. It's about living like Jesus. And so my son, if we can go back to that story, I think about the fact that if he only knew how close I was to him, if he only knew that I've got him, I've got his back, I'd do anything for him, and I'm an earthly father. I feel like God just wants to say to us, like, if only you knew how much I love you, if only I knew the plans I have for you, if only you knew how close I am, if only you knew how close heaven is, if only you knew how beautiful the future is, we'd live different. And so, that's why I think this is special. So we're gonna do communion here with all our guys, and maybe I thought it'd be cool that if you want to partake with us, you could, if you have a light, you could light it up. But nonetheless, if we could just close our eyes, just fix our eyes on Jesus. God, we thank you so much. You're a God of love. You loved us first. But the only reason we can be here tonight is because of your good. Because you went such extraordinary lengths to know us, to have a relationship with us. So God, I pray that here and now, that there's no one in this room that would feel like they don't they don't. God, I pray there's no one in this room, God, that would feel like they're not good enough for you. Because of Jesus. Because he's good enough. And he did everything on that cross that needed to be done for us so that we could know you intimately. As a God, we take this bread. It represents your body. It was broken for us for the forgiveness of our sins. We take it now and remember the sacrifice you gave for us on that cross. In Jesus' name. And like it, we take this cup that represents your blood. It's poured out for us. It represents a new covenant, a better way. It represents your grace, your freedom, your mercy. So God, we take it now and remember you. God, I pray for every single person in this room that we'd be reminded again that you're with us. And that this thing called life is not a joke. It's not a game, but it's an adventure in your mercy and freedom. One that ends in your glorious future. And God, I pray that you would help us to be the church you've called us to be. God, I pray for Andres. I pray, God, that you would lead him, guide him, that you'd protect him, that you'd encourage his spirit daily, God, with a greater desire for you. In your mighty name, amen.